All right, so thank you so much for being here today. Today's skill sharing conversation topic is chat reference. I am Darby Malvey. I am Programming and Outreach Coordinator at Library LLNJ, and I do not really know anything about chat reference, but that's okay because we have an excellent conversation moderator today. Madel Tisi has agreed to moderate our conversation. Madel was born and raised in the Philippines. She started her librarian career there after getting her bachelor's degree with a major in library science. She joined Ramapo College in 2001 and worked her way up from being a circulation assistant to a circulation supervisor. And while she was working full-time, she pursued her MLS from Rutgers University. Very impressive. She graduated in 2009 and has held her present position as circulation reference and instruction librarian since then. She is also the reference coordinator at Ramapo. So she is infinitely qualified to kick us off on this topic of chat reference. And Madel, I will turn it over to you now.
Thank you, Darby. I'm so excited to be here and see familiar faces. I also want to say thank you to Darby and to Library Link for inviting me to moderate today's conversation. Reference chat is near and dear to my heart. And so I'm hoping to have a good conversation with all of you, but maybe we can start by introducing ourselves. So just, your name, your library, and what you do there. All right, that would be helpful. Thank you. Who wants to start? Steph.
Yes, I can go first. So so I'm a program and outreach specialist here at Library Link, New Jersey. I'm also an on-call reference librarian at Mercer County Community College, and we've been doing a lot of chat reference lately. So I'm looking forward to this conversation.
All righty, welcome, Steph.
Yeah, thank you.
I can go next. My name is Janelle Bitter. I am the Systems and Technical Services Librarian at Raritan Valley Community College. But at a community college, we all do everything. So I do plenty of reference.
Yeah. Janelle, I'm quickly learning that as well. So it's like I'm reference, but I'm also filling in for other stuff as needed also. Deepti, do you want to go? Oh yeah, sorry. Oh no, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Nina Schratt. I'm a circulation assistant, associate, library associate, reserve textbook coordinator. I'm originally from Georgia, south from Russia, and I was just listening to this conversation. I also have a degree in library science and bibliography from Georgia, but I'm not pursuing here to get the master's degree, but just my background.
Welcome.
And I'm working in Bergen Community College Library. I'm sorry.
Okay. Neighbor.
I will jump in for Deepti because it sounds like maybe she doesn't have a mic. So it says, I am, hold on, let me scroll up. I am Adult Services Librarian at Rivervale Public Library. I am responsible for collection development and reference, and we don't do chat reference here, but I was part of IPL2 chat reference for a few years while pursuing my MLS. Yeah, we were talking about some of the bigger chat reference services earlier, Deepti, like LLNJ, that used to be a big thing here too. So welcome.
And Sharon is connecting, I think.
Yeah, it looks like Sharon is still connecting, trying to, oh, Sharon is connected.
All right.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Sharon.
That's it. Okay, I think I'm there.
We hear you.
So I work at Bergen Community College. I supervise the student workers. During COVID, we did a lot of chatting when we were closed for the few months that we were not here.
Wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow. So this is a good group. We have a mix of, different libraries that we're representing. And this is a great topic too, as I mentioned before, this is near and dear to my heart. And also, as we all know, I mean, chat reference is a vital part of what we do. And that was made even more apparent, when the pandemic hit and we found ourselves like, working from home because our libraries, closed. But it was a good way to still be there for our students, for faculty, for our patrons, and to still be able to help them even though, the libraries closed. So for today's discussion, I have prepared like questions that we could look at. Let me share my screen. All right, so hopefully you're able to see the question. So basically, we're gonna go through these questions, but what chat software are you using? How long have you been offering it? Satisfied with it? How do you track statistics, challenges, and best practices, and assessing? And hopefully we're gonna have a good conversation. And the goal today is for us to learn from one another. Like if you're not satisfied with the chat software that you're using at the moment, maybe you'll hear something, maybe you'll consider the chat software that we're using here, which is, I think, affordable too, and so on. So basically learning from one another. So let me stop sharing while we tackle the first question. And by the way, this is an informal conversation. Feel free to like chime in, to question, to use the chat box, all right, so who wants to start answering the first question? So what software are you using? How long have you been using it? And are you satisfied with your software?
I can go first if that's
Okay,
everyone's okay
sure.
with that. So yeah, so Mercer County Community College is using LibChat, which I don't know too much about. I'm also relatively new there, so that's part of it also. They've been using it not for a very long time, just trying to see what works best, mainly for students, just kind of communicating with people who may not be familiar with the library or may not be intimidated to go. So trying to think of something that's easy to use. So I've looked at some tutorials so far. I'm kind of more familiarized myself with it. It looks okay so far. I don't know what a lot of options are out there. So if anyone's using something similar or different, it'd be great to hear that as well.
Yeah, that's one of the more popular.
Yeah, it looks like, yeah, pretty standard.
And actually, do you work with Martin?
Yes, I love Martin. I work with him most closely.
Okay,
yes.
so we're on the same committee
yes.
with Janelle. And I believe that they started offering this during the pandemic.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, he was attending one of the roundtable discussions that I had like probably like last year.
Mhm.
And he was saying that when the pandemic hit, that's when they had to get a chat thingy for them to be able to help patrons from home. So a lot of learning had to happen in such a short time. But thanks for sharing.
Yeah, no problem. And I see that Nina from Berkeley Community College is also using LibChat and you're liking it so far?
And you?
Yes, we were using, we're still using, but the pandemic time, reference librarian and the one person from the staff would log in. We all had hour or two, each of them. sharing, and we were helping the students through pandemic with the questions, what they were interesting. Then we also did the curbside pickups. We were just coming once a week. We have a long hours, and we had the 2 shifts, a morning crew and evening crew. We were like one day a morning crew was working, another day in a week was evening crew. And we did that, students or any patron, they would, faculty staff, they would request some textbooks or any books would come and do this online, set up everything, and then we would put on a curbside pickup. A lot of reference questions, research papers. Most of them reference librarian were dealing with that, but staff, we would also assist students how to drop those books and all this. But it was great. I like that we never had the issue, and a few members can log in together. We, from the beginning, we had the one login, but then we all had the individual.
And you have screen sharing capabilities, right? You could see their,
yes. I personally never used it, but if I was same time with the reference librarian and they couldn't answer any related question, what we could, they would share the screen. Yes, that's right.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Who else wants to share? Okay, go ahead, Janelle.
Sorry. So we use LibChat also. They've been using it since I started here, so I don't know when they got it. I think shortly before that. I started at RV in 2018. I think they had it maybe for a few years before that. And yeah, we had a similar thing where during the pandemic, we had very structured schedule for who was on chat when, because we were, the library wasn't even open for the end of that spring semester 2 years ago. And then starting the next year, we were like kind of open on a limited basis. So only one person was coming in per day. So the people that were staying home were doing chat. But now that we're all back on campus, we haven't found a good solution to staffing chat in any kind of scheduled way. There are only 3 of us full time, and we have 2 daytime adjunct librarians. And it's kind of like when you're in your office, if you're not doing anything super important, you just get on chat also. We finally shortly into this semester, we were able to get work from home 1 day a week per person. So like I work from home on Tuesdays, and so I do chat on Tuesday. My colleague works from home Friday, so she's doing the chat on Friday. But there are 2 days of the week where none of us are home. So then it's like, it's kind of whoever can cover whenever. So it's not the best in terms of scheduling. We really haven't figured out a better way to do it because our schedules are not consistent. And so, we don't teach classes the same day every week or same time every day or anything like that. And yeah, it works okay. Obviously we have the email version of Lib Answers that will pop up if no one's on chat, then somebody can just send an email. And so that's okay. That's an okay kind of second option, but.
Can I ask a question, Janelle? Actually, that's what I was going to ask you because I'm not familiar with this software.
Okay.
So if it's not scheduled, like when students log onto the website, I'm guessing, do they know if someone's online or not? Or like, does it tell them someone's currently online, or they just have to hope they get an answer?
Yes, I wonder if I can share my screen. No, I can't. So we have like at the top of our homepage, and actually every page of our website, it has an Ask Us, and then there's a button. And if there's someone staffing the chat, it says live chat. And if there's no one staffing the chat, it just says email a librarian. And so the button actually takes you to the email form when there's nobody on chat. Or it takes you to chat if there is somebody on chat. So, and that's almost something that the platform just does. We didn't have, I don't think we had to set anything up too complicated to get that to work.
Thank you, Janelle. I can show you the library page, Darby, in a minute. But Janelle, what are your chat hours? So you said there's like 3 full-time and 3 part-time, right?
Right. Well, we have more evening people as well.
Oh, okay.
Two daytime part-time, and then like 3 or 4 evening part-time. But they're obviously only one person per evening. They aren't, they don't overlap. We don't have chat hours. The library is open from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mondays through Thursday, and 8 to 5 on Fridays. And we hope to have chat available during all of those hours, but we obviously don't because there's nobody on it right now. So
okay, we basically have chat when the library is open, except for like 2 hours, at night. And we only have like one librarian at the desk who also covers chat. So most of the time we put our status as busy or extended away, if we can't be there for them. But let me show you.
while you're doing that, can I just chime in with one comment? So something that we have kind of decided is because we have a new daytime adjunct librarian, and they like to sign on to chat while they're at the reference desk. But the challenge there is that if somebody walks up to you, they're your first priority. And so if you're also on chat, it gets to be kind of complicated. And so we told them that you're welcome to do chat from the reference desk, but hopefully someone else will also be doing it. Like, I do it when I'm home or whatever, so that they can be a backup, because it's really hard if you're in the middle of a chat, somebody walks up to you, and then what are you supposed to say to them,
So there is no way for you to change the status?
No, there is.
Being available to, so here, if we're using chat, then it becomes busy. If we are helping a student in person, and we forget to change the status to like busy, then someone may come in through chat. In that case, we would say, oh, I'm sorry, but I'm with a student right now. Would you mind logging back on again in 10 minutes? So, and then usually they don't mind, but you have to like let them know that you're busy with something. Or
what about the opposite of that though? Like if you get the chat first, and then you're in the middle of chatting with someone, and someone walks up to you, then what do you do? Because the person that walks up to you might be like, I have class in 5 minutes or something. That's the situation that we're trying to.
Right.
I don't know the answer to that question.
That's tricky. But if that happened here, I mean, we could say, I'm sorry, I'm on chat, but I could, call one of our, my colleagues to come out, if he can wait like, 2 minutes, whatever, and so on. So yeah, that could be tricky. But Darby, this is our Ask a Librarian service. And as you can see, we're online. So when they see we're online, they just like click on that. If we, are offline and these are our hours, it would say offline, but they can still like text us their question, or they can email us. They can, make a research appointment. And now this thing that's on the bottom part of your screen is the proactive chat invitation. And so this has actually, done wonders for chat traffic, because this is embedded in the catalog page and in the database page too. So basically we're there at their point of need and stuff. So
And did you have to install that proactive chat widget,
yes.
or did it come with the software?
They have it, you know, it can come with the software, but we have like an IT person in the library who could also, like, you know,
Okay.
do his thing.
Yeah. Because I would imagine that's really help. I mean, I know I do that even
Oh,
with
yeah,
businesses,
definitely.
right? I go on the website to try to find something, and if there's a chat icon, like, oh, I'll just ask and see if anyone, you know. So I would imagine that's probably drives a lot of traffic.
I see Vicky has joined us. Hi, Vicky, welcome. Vicky and I have met before, but just quickly. So
Hi, sorry, I was actually in chat with a student and couldn't join on time.
Speaking of chat, so at Ramapo, I started our chat reference soon after I became a reference coordinator. That's one of my earliest initiatives in 2009. And in 2009, we were using Meebo, something, I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's a free chat software. It was great. We didn't have to pay anything. But in 2012, Google bought Meebo. And so that was it for like our free chat service. And we had to, you know, look for a replacement. And that's when we started using Library Help. And we have been using it since then, and we're very happy with the service. And you know, their customer service is really great, even though they have a small staff. And I thought the price is also affordable. It depends on the student enrollment, and that's how they base their you know, price on. Does anybody else want to share on what chat software they're using?
We have LibChat.
You have
We
All
have Spring Shares products, and we also use the Lib Answers, the FAQs, and Lib Guides. So it's all coordinated. But I'm assuming it's more expensive than. Was yours Lib Help? Did you say?
I'm sorry.
What is the one that you use? Lib Help? Library Help? I couldn't
Library
remember.
Help. Yeah. So yeah, and I think we do use LibGuides, which is also a Spring Share product, but we don't use any of their other you know, products. Okay, so thanks for sharing. So our number 2 question is, how do you track chat statistics? I know LibChat should have a built-in. Okay, so Library Help also has a built-in you know, reporting, but I created a homegrown ref tracker, and we piloted it in fall 2019, because before that we were using you know, tally sheets to mark statistics, you know, in-person chat and so on. So Google Forms is like free. We didn't want to have to pay $1,000 for the original ref tracker. So if you want, I can show you briefly what it looks like. If I can find it. Okay. Darby,
I just want to say goodbye. I have to actually go do the reference desk. So
okay.
it was nice talking to everybody.
Janelle, nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I lost my file, so I'm gonna share. Oh, it's here. Can you see it?
Right now, we're seeing your poster.
Up.
Also,
Okay,
also a great poster, though. So, you know,
hold on. I'm gonna stop sharing. Sorry, Darby.
don't apologize to me. No problem.
Okay, so do you see it now?
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the tracking. This is what we're using now. So basically, whenever we have a a reference interaction, whether in person or chat, we do this for every single one. So we put today's date, today's Wednesday, the time frame, when it came in, the librarian's name, who's doing the submitting, the patron category, if it's a student, faculty, and so on, and then the location, where were you when you were like helping the patron, and then the transaction type, so chat, email, video conferencing, phone, and so on, and then the question type too. Is it circulation related? Is it reference help? Did it take you less than 5 minutes or ready reference, or did it take much more than 5 minutes, and so on? Again, length of transaction and how it ended, and then you click submit. And then the beauty of this is you then, okay, hold on. This is the built-in, reporting or statistics thingy, graphs. But if you wanted to go deeply, like, and see, all right, what were the busiest time and day for chat, just for chat. This is how I do it, because the Google form connects or to a spreadsheet, and you can basically, do whatever you need for reporting and so on. So this is, this is what we're using, and like I said, it's not costing us anything. And during the pandemic, it was very, helpful to have that from home. All right. Anybody else want to share on the chat statistics that they're using? Nina, are you using something else, or?
I don't have a statistics because I'm not a reference librarian or in charge for the statistics. But I don't. But we do use the Ask the Librarian and the help, right, Sharon? We do. We do, yeah. I'm in a mask because we're sitting next to each other.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Nina, did you say that you also worked in CERC?
No.
Yes, I'm a library associate. I'm in
I'm
the
sorry?
circulation. I'm in charge the textbooks. I'm a reserve coordinator.
Okay,
So
I did a similar CERC tracking for circulation. So,
yeah, but like I said, we were together using the live chat 2 hours each person every day, Monday to Friday, except if we were on site, then we either would go 1 hour or something. We were doing internally whatever projects we needed it to do. But during the week, like a whole 2020, from the March, we closed on March 13, 2020, and we did all the way up to the July 6, 2021. And then we fully reopened the college.
all righty. Thank you. Anybody
No
else
problem.
want to share?
Our staffing is down substantially. I'm only part-time at this point, and I was furloughed during March of 2020 when this campus closed, because I usually worked, a Saturday at this campus, 4 to 9 p.m. at this campus 2 or 3 nights a week, that sort of thing, because we had a lot of hours open to cover. So when I was called back on and we have chat, but we all go on chat at the same time, basically who's ever scheduled, because a lot of the full-time people were not recalled because we're still having limited hours, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on campus, or some, the enrollment is down quite a bit. We're a small school and we have a lot of, several campuses in New Jersey and in New York City. So enrollment is down and a lot of it is online or hybrid. Now we're going into full, the staff was already had to be vaccinated, and starting in April, the students also have to be vaccinated. So then we're not going to have to wear masks on campus anymore. The students have to at least have their first shot if they're coming on campus. But it's mostly, it hasn't been that busy. So if you're working on campus, you can, because there's been a lot of hybrid courses, and except for labs and things, there haven't been as many students on campus. So you can still cover chat as much as possible. And, we kind of say, oh, can I take lunch or a break now to each other? And we also we use the statistics, and the person who's in charge of it, who's in charge of online, she does a lot with statistics, but we use the statistics in live chat, and you can do it by the hour. They have these graphs and everything, and the days of the week that are busy. And we also look at the chat transcripts a lot to see what, especially like if I'm working Friday night or Saturday afternoon or something, where there's you might be on chat by yourself. I'm trying to see, what has everybody been asking about? What's the assignment that's due at midnight on Saturday? That sort of thing.
Vicki, sorry if you said this. Remind me what school you're working at?
Yeah, I came in late. Berkeley College.
Berkeley College. Okay.
Yes. And I'm sorry I didn't get where you guys are besides Madel. So
I just work for Library Link. So
oh, you're the one running the, yes. Now that you said that, I saw you in one of the videos that I watched of a different one. Yes.
Alrighty. So moving on. The third question is, what are some of your challenges and best practices with chat reference? If you don't have firsthand experience, maybe, things you've heard, things you've read about and stuff.
Some of the problems are, you have a lot of different classes and they come in acting like what their class is about or what you're talking about. And you're like, okay, or they'll paste in their whole assignment. Part of the problem with the online is all those weekly discussion boards. I don't know if you guys do that, but it's like for participation and attendance, they have these weekly discussion boards, and some of the questions are old, and the professors they have to do it because they're not coming to class so in person, but it's tough because you're coming in the middle and you don't know what they're talking about, and they're like, this is kind of a rush thing for them, and they're like pasting it in like, this is my assignment. And I'm like, okay, and what have you already looked for or found with this? Before, when we had a lot more staff and a lot more students, we had I didn't do it, but I appreciated it a lot. They did a project at Berkeley where they went through chat transcripts and found they were looking for best practices to make a little workshop for best practices for in service for us. And they also were trying to, and this is the hard part, and this is what I wondered if any you guys had any ideas. It's really harder now, but with helping ways to do information literacy in a chat, you know, like to really get some instruction across or to you. We did a lot of, we have some videos and stuff that we'll paste in to help them, and
Nice.
FAQs about something. Like, oh, this gives a lot of suggestions about trying to find out about that company's culture and a lot of the business stuff. When I get the medical and healthcare, I'm great. And, you know, I do stuff with the nursing students and whatever, but I have no experience in business. And, you know, I'm doing a lot of highlighting a phrase that they put in and searching Google, what is this? And then I'm like, oh, okay, all right. So I think that you need to look, you know, I'm start typing. I'm also not a fast typist. So that's my other main problem, but we can go into a Zoom meeting in chat if they have time and they want to do it. And that makes it so much easier because then we can talk like now.
Yeah, that was going to be my question, because I don't have a background in academic libraries, but I used to be a high school librarian, and we didn't do chat reference, but the kids could obviously email me when they had assignments. And I found that a lot of times I just had trouble understanding what they were asking for, because they do not communicate as well written as they do verbally. And so it felt like everything took 10 times longer trying to get to the heart of like, what are you actually asking for? And same thing, Vicky, like they would just go off about the assignment or acronyms, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're saying, right? Like, I don't know what these letters stand for. I don't like, but you know, in person, it's really easy to just get down to it. And over email, it was very slow. I would imagine over chat, is it still very difficult to get?
If you're a slow typist or they're, the other problem is they are either impatient or they click on a link. Oh, I'm sorry. Is it me?
There's an echo.
Yeah, I didn't know. Is it me?
I think Sharon and Nina are in the same room. Are you guys in the same room?
Yes, we are.
That's why.
So,
I'm sorry, go ahead. And
okay, so I was only saying that they pop out of the chat after you just put a response in, and then a new chat opens and they say, I lost the chat, and it may be buried underneath somewhere, but you know, and then you're like, okay, hold on a second. Did you get the last link I gave you? You know, go, I'm sorry.
Nina?
I never had to help research paper like one-on-one or something student, but for me as a bilingual, and Bergen Community College has a lot of ESL students and what they call American Language Program. And my challenge that would be for these students very hard to communicate if they don't have a good writing skill. Of course they not, because they are in an ESL program, to do the chat like that. When you in person, you can more explain what is your research paper is about than using the chat. I can speculate with that.
Yeah.
But I've been there and I know what that can be challenging when you don't speak English.
Yeah.
It is certainly a challenge, but even if there's no language barrier, it's still like, you know, Darby said, you know, some students don't know what it is that they're really looking for or what their professor needs. And that happens a lot here. And it's more challenging if you're chatting with them instead of like in person. So what we do is we ask them do you have a copy of your assignment prompt? Can you send it to me? Because, you know, we need to see that. This way, you know, we can advise them on what sources your professor needs and so on. So that's one thing. We ask for the, assignment, the copy of the assignment. The other challenge with us is library help, great as it is, does not have screen sharing capabilities, like, or very limited. Like, they can't see my screen. I can ask permission to see their screen,
Oh, you can.
but it's very complicated. It involves, like, you have to ask their permission. It has to be particular, not program, but it has their computer has to be not old ones. They have to be more recent ones. And so our workaround is sending screenshots, to them. So if if they need to have, journal articles, for example, we go to the databases. Do you know how to get to our databases? No, not really. So we would go and take a screenshot of the, where they could do that and send that through chat. So I'm going to share a poster that has the examples. All right. So like here, these are examples of screenshots that I've seen, that I've used in the past. So this is when, okay, so this is how they get to the database page. I crop that and, send that to them. This is when I wanna show them where they can put their keywords, because one of the common mistakes is they crowd the first search box like they would in Google. So we say, okay, this is how you do it. Type the keyword in the first search box, and then in the second search box, and then in the third search box. And then here is how to limit publication dates and so on, how to limit to academic source, journals. And this is what they see. So this is the example of an image that I sent. So they get the link and they click on that to see whatever I had sent them. So that was, that's a workaround that has, worked for us and stuff. But otherwise, it is a challenge without the, screen sharing capability, because you can go back and forth, like explaining, and
we have some canned messages, and you can make your own personal ones as well as the ones that we all use. Like when I'm by myself on a weekend or something, I got from the other night librarians who are in another state somewhere, that were just online, they would say something like, I'm going to close the library at 11, but let me just get you started. The best place, the best database to use for this is, or here's a great FAQ explaining how to find things like that. But we can now do, but they have to have time. A lot of times they're doing it at work or they're doing it on their phone. So I understand it's not easy for them, and they don't have the time, or they lose the link. So a lot of times we kept trying to say, you can email this chat transcript to yourself, or make sure you put your email address in. But when they on the phone,
like
right.
we can't look at a database on your phone.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
yes,
I know you
yeah.
want to do everything on your phone, but I got to the point where it was like, I just can't help you. Like, please open your laptop. This is absolutely ridiculous.
So what I'm sorry, I got off track. See, I'm as bad as they are. I'm getting older.
We all are. We can relate.
Yeah, so so just one of those is like finding a database, and it'll, it has instructions, click on this and click on this if you need more. Here's a little, 30-second video you can watch with the link, but we also can do like what you said, which is I sometimes do the screenshots and put them in, especially now that you can kind of preview them a lot of times in LibChat. But the other thing is this Zoom feature is built into LibChat now. So in what way, Stephanie?
Oh, sorry, I was gonna say, so, hi, Vicki. So I work part-time at Mercer County Community College, and kind of similar to Nina, a lot of people, students there speak English as a second language.
Second language, yeah. We have a lot of those too.
Yeah, and a lot of people are using their phone for everything. They don't always have a laptop at home, or they're sharing it with siblings or a parent or just anyone who lives with them, multi-generational households. So yeah, so phone for everything. And it's really hard to do chat reference on a phone. People hit the wrong button. Like the first time I did it, someone clicked close by accident. So we had the chat record and history, but then they had to get back in. So that's been my biggest challenge so far, is just kind of just that open communication and kind of being patient and meeting them where they are, really.
Yeah.
And the databases are just not optimized.
Oh, no, they're not at all.
Types of mobile devices.
Terrible.
Like they're just not, so it is really a struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Does
And as I said, we
Right.
have links to like, in these different databases, here's some screenshots in a Q&A, how to find peer-reviewed or scholarly articles, so that if they're saying, my professor said I need to find what I got off the web isn't good enough, I need to find peer-reviewed or scholarly articles, you can say, here's a link. Now, when you look at that, hopefully when you can see it better, or at least it's pictures rather than something live, you can click on, you can see that in this database, it's here, and in ProQuest, it's right under the search screen. And, in EDS, you can go on the left. So those are helpful, but it is difficult. And as I said, sometimes I'm trying to say, well, let's try this together. But a lot of times they just want you to give them a link to an article.
Oh yeah.
Right. And
we're not spoon feeding them.
oh, well, you're good. We do a little more spoon feeding than I would like, but part of it is the time and when I was an undergraduate, I didn't have a full-time job and kids to take care of. And, a lot of these students, they're dealing with a lot, and school, unfortunately, is not their first priority, which is understandable, but it does make it more difficult. And then, then you give them something to say, I did that already. I'm looking, the real thing is not, they always tell you the most general thing. And so I will say, well, what aspect of that were you really looking for? Something more specific, because it turns out it is something very specific, but they don't seem to, pull that up. When they say what the assignment is, they don't focus on the fact that there's going to be, 50,000 articles on this one general topic on diabetes. What are you really looking for? And
thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing, Vicki. Anybody else want to share on that question? All right, because otherwise we could go to the last one and assessing chat reference. So, and this is something I haven't really done, and something I would like to do in the near future. Has anybody done any assessing of chat?
you mean them giving
Right.
rating us?
Somebody mentioned like looking at the transcripts, right? Was it you, Vicki?
Yes. And as I said, these were great people who did this, who don't work for Berkeley anymore. One I think works for.
So did they have something published about that assessment?
That I'm not sure of. I
Okay.
don't know. I should ask Maria, she would probably know.
So, I wanted to share the, hold on. Okay. Okay. What are you seeing, Darby?
Follow up for successful follow up.
Yep, we
Huh?
got it.
You
This is
do?
your behavioral guidelines, right?
Yeah. Okay. So these guidelines were created by RUSA of ALA. So reference and user RUSA. I forgot the S, and association. So and this could be used to gauge user satisfaction with chat. And I've seen like articles where they quoted this guidelines when they were like assessing chat interactions. So basically you're gonna look at the chat transcripts, and you're gonna be looking at some of the things that are mentioned here, like approachability. In person, how did they manifest that? In virtually, how did they manifest that? Like responding in a timely fashion. So if you're monitoring chat and you didn't hear the beep, sorry. I mean, it could take, the person could be waiting. I don't know who that was. The person could be waiting online, to be sorry.
You're popular.
Okay. I just took her off. But anyway, yeah, so that's not good if you don't pick up chat right away. I'm so sorry. I don't know who this is.
Madel, do you need to go answer that?
No,
We can.
but I don't know how to mute it. Okay. Yeah, I don't know the person. Probably a spam. So yeah, so it's not good if you're making your patron wait, and they're very like impatient. I mean, 1 minute can seem like a lifetime. So if you respond in seconds, that's very good. So, and some of the other things are like listening, inquiring. They have general, and then they have remote behavior and stuff. Using closed and clarifying questions to refine the query. So Darby, this speaks a little bit to what you were saying earlier about so this is where reference interview comes in too. So so this is great. I could copy the link to the chat if you want to know
Yeah, that
more
would be
about
very
that.
helpful.
Yeah,
A lot of that
like to-
applies much more face to face, though, I think, than in chat, where all you have is a little box of text.
Yeah, the guidelines have like the guidelines for in-person reference, and then for remote, and that could cover chat too.
Okay,
And
because a
so,
lot of the
yeah,
ones that I was
so-
reading were,
I'm
body
gonna-
language cues, and and like you said, with the language, when English isn't their first language, so you're not following. Although I had, and she was I learned a lot from this woman. She was very good. She said, I don't know what she said, but I was totally confused. And as I said, I'm not a fast typist, so I just said, what? And 3 question marks. And we went along a little bit. And then she said, you know, that was very rude or something in the chat. And and then I said, oh, yes, you're right. And I apologized. And, you know, I said, I'm sorry, I was confused and I didn't express myself well. And yes, you're right, that was. And we talked a little more about that. And then, we got much better on the same track and I was able to help her. And, so I try and remember that when I'm, totally off. And now I'm having a keyboard that sometimes the C isn't working. And I'm saying, oh, I'm sure people can't read what I wrote, or I try and do control V or something. And they're like, you didn't paste anything in. What am I looking at? So
Thank
yeah,
you.
but it's a learning experience for everyone, but reading other people's chats and transcripts just to see, because sometimes I'll say, oh, that was a great idea, I'll do that next time. Or you'll say, oh, that was a fantastic thing they found. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure that's everyone has it too before we wrap up.
Yeah.
Right.
Anybody else have any thoughts? Darby,
It's 2:59, I know. I can hang for a couple extra minutes if we need to, if there was anything that anybody wanted to bring up or ask, or if there were any particular topics you guys came hoping to discuss.
Yeah, as I said, trying to do what what we're supposed to be doing with the ACRL standards in a chat format. And especially, since the pandemic, when so much of it was everybody was online. So it's not like you saw them or you went into their class. I mean, sometimes I guess some of the full-timers did do some Zoom meetings in some of their Zoom classes, but a lot of people don't always show up for them, or the timing, the synchronous is difficult. So, it's a lot. When I go into a class now, like when I go into a nursing research EBM class, kind of EBP, class kind of thing, then they come and it works better.
Stephanie.
You leaving, Steph?
Yeah, I am. Thank you. So good to chat with everyone.
Thank you, Steph.
I'm leaving too. Very nice to
Thank
see
you.
Goodbye,
all of
Nina.
you.
So good to chat with
Bye
you.
bye.
Very much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Steph.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, well, it's actually after 3 o'clock. Is there anything else, Madel, or that anyone else wanted to bring up before we head out?
Thank you, Darby, again. And thank
you,
Deepti.
Madel. Thank you, Darby.
Thank you, Deepti.
Thank you to everyone.
Deepti.
Thank you, Deepti. I'm going to end the meeting now, so everyone will unfortunately get booted out. But the recording will go up on our YouTube channel, so you can always go back and watch it if there's anything you wanted to go back and see again. And our next skill sharing conversation is actually on TikTok, which is a whole different topic.
Wow.
But that's coming up in April. So if you liked this format, we have one on TikTok coming up, and you can learn, I'm sure, a lot of things about
Everything.
TikTok,
I know nothing.
I don't
Thank
know
you.
anything about it. So.
Thank you all for
you so
being here, and have a great day.
Okay.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.